Okay, I have 2:30. If you're coming on, please mute your phone. I will do that in a moment here. Welcome to the October edition of the Employee Engagement Playbook. I'm Pete Holtzapfel, General Manager of West County, and surrounded by a number of leaders here in Juno Beach, including our Executive Vice President, Tony Rodriguez, and Vice Presidents Roxanne Kennedy, Manny Sanchez, Tom Broad, Jim Keener, and many others here.
Corinne.
And Corinne Bullock, right next to me. Thank you. So,
and the rest of the great
and
team.
the rest of the PGD leadership. So thank you. I'm going to take a moment to mute all our phones. Give me a second here.
To reach us, to mute all participants. By request of the meeting organizer, all participants have been muted.
Okay. So with that chore being out of the way, remember, if you want to break in the call and for a comment, especially at the end, it's #5 to unmute, and again, #5 to remute. So let's see, put this into, I think we're all here. And I guess we'll skip the agenda and get right into the meat of our message today. Joining us today is, for the Coach's Corner, is Jonathan Bain, who's the General Manager of Rise, Bellingham, and Bayswater. And he wrote a nice piece on appreciative leadership. Jonathan, if you're out there, please take us through it.
Hi, Pete. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we sure can.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. My write-up today is based on a book titled Appreciative Leadership by Dr. Diane Whitney, and is a management philosophy that focuses on the positive aspects of workplaces and the methods which leaders can foster ongoing employee engagement. As we know, relationships are integral to the workplace, and an appreciative leader holds every peer and employee in high regard. All that's needed for this is the 5 I's. And we start with an inquiry, leading with positively powerful questions. For the how, for example, instead of saying, how did you let this happen, try, how shall we proceed? Or even better yet, how can I support you right now? Both of those examples are positive and provide action and support. Illumination, bringing out the best in people and situations. Inclusion, engaging with others to co-create the future, really providing that vision. Inspiration, awakening the creative spirit. And integrity, always making choices for the good of the whole. An appreciative leader sees the inherent positive potential in every person or situation, and it is a leader's job to uncover that potential and help it develop. Whenever an appreciative leader needs to make a decision, all stakeholders that will be directly affected by the decision should be included and valued in the process. Appreciative leaders are upbeat, positive role models that inspire a culture that promotes our values. Thank you, Pete, for allowing me to contribute today.
Thank you, Jonathan. It's really a nice message. And as we go to winning tips, I too took a couple of nuggets from the book. It's really a fine book. And the first one, you just went over the main point of inclusion, but it's just another message of diversity and inclusion. We've heard a lot about this lately. It's all part of our PIP this year, as well as behavior that we really need to practice. And as much as we talk about it, you know, there are many benefits. It breaks down traditional barriers. It fosters greater communication. And it also stimulates greater creativity and innovation in the workplace, and also greater employee engagement and results. So a lot of positive things that can bring us. And I think one of the quotes was, you know, we're stronger the more diverse we are. So keep that in mind. The second message that's coming out in another week or so is choosing the positive. And again, this theme came right out of the Appreciative Leadership book. And we heard a lot. Negativism often creates tension and fear, but being positive is a choice that we all can make every day. And it inspires others. It inspires others by giving others confidence. And leaders that choose to be positive as a routine are choosing to be caring and supportive, and it creates greater collaboration and engagement. And people see that. It's something that people really see on your face and the way you act on a daily basis. So, again, good words of wisdom there. Thank you. Okay. Let's go to Players Huddle. And Corinne Bullock.
Good afternoon. I just wanted to remind everyone that we are now in the middle of the Employee Engagement Pulse Survey. Just to remind you of what that is, in the middle of the employee engagement surveys, we take a small statistical population of every division in the company and try to get some feedback on how we're doing with our engagement activities. It's really important for us to get a pulse on how we're doing. You know, is there some improvement that you've seen? Are you getting the results of the survey? Are you happy with what you're seeing happening at your location? It's a real quick survey. You all didn't get it, only some of you. It would have been in an email, not with an internal company email, but an external email, but it has NextEra Energy in the subject. So it'll have NextEra Energy and Aon Hewitt. So if you can just make sure you don't miss that email, and that you go ahead and take the time to complete that survey. If you're Florida bargaining, you would have gotten the survey also in the mail at home. So those of you that have Florida bargaining reporting to you, make sure they realize that, and they don't have to go into their email at work. If they don't want to, they can take the letter, they can take the URL out of the letter and type it into their home computer and take the survey that way. Just takes 5 or 10 minutes. If they have any questions, please encourage them to come and ask you. We've got a couple of weeks. Tuesday the 16th is the last day to complete the survey. So make sure every day you're kind of bringing it up in your morning meetings and making sure people know about it. It's so important for us to get, you know, high percentage completion so we can get good data back and we can make sure that we can gauge how we're doing it and make any mid-course corrections. So thanks to everyone. Please talk it up on your weekly and daily meetings. Thanks.
Hey, thanks, Corinne. And People Focus will talk about another survey that just came out, and Brian Billman will tell you about that.
Hey, Pete, can you hear me?
Yeah, I sure can, Brian.
Oh, great, Pete. Yeah, as we come to a close of the year, leaders should focus on closing the gaps they identified during the mid-year PIP discussions with their team members, and our performance goals should be a main topic we discuss in our monthly PIP review sessions. Another survey we talked about is the Partners Performance Survey. With our recent ongoing efforts to continuously improve our PIP process, PGD employees were recently surveyed to obtain feedback on this year's changes to the PIP process. The 10-question survey focused on obtaining feedback regarding SMART goal development and implementation, as well as assessing the overall PIP experience. The PIP process improvement team will be analyzing the survey results to identify changes employees feel can be effective in improving the PIP process. The survey closed yesterday, and the team received over 900 responses, so overall, pretty good turnout, a lot of data points there. And the results will be shared with all employees once the survey analysis has been completed.
Hey, thank you, Brian. Appreciate that. And let's go next to the diversity and inclusion and Kelly Fagan. Kelly?
Hey, Pete. This is Kelly. I'm on. You can see here in the picture that we've got some production managers and some central maintenance folks in all hands in a production manager central maintenance meeting. And what we were doing is we were leveraging not only off of some of the learning that we've had this year on diversity and inclusion, but also on how to establish culture change. So you can see the guys here working with some tools that we learned in our safety culture change process, and that was the cycles of mistrust and how to break those cycles. We worked through a couple of exercises that were conflicts between some of the central maintenance groups and some of the plant groups. So really good application of tools from our culture change, as well as learning how to work through issues together out in the field. So I want to thank all the production managers and the central maintenance folks for getting involved in that meeting over in Juneau, and hopefully there's more of that to come. Thanks, Pete.
I think there will be more of that to come. Thanks, Kelly. It's always an issue that we still need to work through from time to time. Thank you for that. And let's go to the technology huddle. And Donville Smith sitting next to me.
The technology infusion team has been working on an application to further support the mobile field worker, and this is the iWork application. And what it does is facilitates the mobile opening, editing, closure of work orders in the field, even when disconnected from the wireless network. So a lot of the new features that were implemented as part of the Tech Infusion in the daily work management application will also be included in this iWork application, such as the work lists feature. So this standalone work order app should be available to our users in the fall. look forward to it.
Hey, thanks, Donville. Great technologies coming out. And similar to that, with the work process highlights, Rick Ricardo and his team have been working hard to give us some other applications. Go ahead, Rick.
Okay, thank you, Pete. Again, the work processes team, we're putting out a product that's going to support central maintenance projects. And with me, I have Adriana Falcone, who at the time was MIL leader and also was working in central maintenance. And she's excited to be able to put out something that's going to benefit her her former team. And with me, also have Kelly Schoonover, who will also, in case any questions come up, be able to address the future rollouts of the phases. So with that, I'll turn it over to Adriana to give us an update.
Thank you, Rick. Essentially, we're really excited. We're going to be rolling out coming this month. You all should be getting some invitations from Kelly. Phase 1 of the outage window change and emergent work automation. And essentially what phase 1 is going to include is we're getting rid of the forms for requesting and actually embedding it into the work management system, which is going to help drive the process and also eliminates a lot of the administrative burden for our users. So phase 2 is going to be coming out in the next couple months, and that will include workflow messaging, so the approvals and everything will all be captured in the system as well. So if you have any questions, you can get with Kelly or I, but we're really excited and we look forward to deploying this out this coming month.
Thank you, Pete.
It's great to see that positive enthusiasm. I'm looking forward to that myself. I appreciate that. And next, let's go to the career development, and Phoebe Brown's going to tell us about the summer intern program that just completed. Phoebe, is she on? Star 5 to unmute, Phoebe, if you're there. Okay, anyway.
You're going to have to go for it, Pete.
We'll just have to go for it. Just looking at this, it was a great year for the summer intern program. This was brought back. I think it was latent for a couple of years there, but anyway, you see the statistics for the participants in Florida. 18 interns worked in the FPL group in Florida, 5 worked for thermal and hydro, and another 18 in the wind group. And the progression of those interns through the company later on, there were 15 interns total from wind hired into the company, 1 intern from FPL hired into the FPDC, and you see a picture of him there, Francis Sherleaf. Congratulations, Francis, if you're out there. And 7 interns from FPL have committed to return next year. They were underclassmen in their college studies, but again, this looks to be a great program, creating a lot of feedstock for good employment for the company, and we hope that that's going to continue. Again, the message is out there. If you have people that you may want to refer, there's a way to refer them. There's the SharePoint, the mailbox there, or apply on the FPL website, the NextEra Energy website, and there's ways to do that. So we hope that, and I think a number of these people were referred by current employees. So great program. Okay, next let's go to recognition and rewards, and Lisa Blanton.
This month we solicited feedback from people who've been nominated as well as people who have submitted nominations, and the feedback was very good. You see a couple of quotes here. Lee Peterson actually won a Power Award and said it was both an honor to be nominated as well as to win the award. And then another observation from people who've been nominated, that they do receive an email from the Power Committee, and their vice president and manager are copied on it, and just being nominated is a form of recognition, and they really appreciate it, especially when it comes from their peers. And so far in 2012, we have received 137 nominations, and that's from 85 different folks that have been the nominators. And you can access the form right on the front page of the PGD portal.
Great, thank you, Lisa. And just a word about the Playbook survey. We sent this out a couple weeks ago. The survey period lasted about a week or so. We got a pretty high response rate, a total of 10 questions. We are going to be compiling some of the results from that survey. You'll see that next month. And again, I just want to thank you. In general, the effectiveness of the playbook was seen as pretty high. Again, there are some certain data sets that we need to go through and compile. But thank you again for the feedback, and we'll get those results out to you very soon. Okay, now time for questions and answers, and there's some thought joggers there. If you don't mind, I'd like to call on a couple of people, try that this month and see if we can get some feedback. Randall Schneider of Bellingham Plant, if you're out there, is there any feedback you can give the team here, or anything you want to talk about regarding employee engagement? Pound 5 to unmute. I don't know if he's out there.
Can everybody hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now, Randy.
Sorry, I had to do that a couple times. I apologize. Good afternoon, everybody. Just quickly, some feedback from the team here on site. We had a real focus this year, obviously, to go after site-level employee engagement issues, and team really went after it. We got 14 things here at the site level we could go after, and we're able to pretty quickly adjust and make some changes to some of the things. And a lot of it had to do with communication, which that really kind of wrapped up the summary of most of our employee engagement feedback items here. So we went to take care of most of those, and it just had to be with keeping people up to speed. Excuse me. With things that are going on with the site and at the corporate level, and with the monthly playbook and everything else. So that was really the bulk of what we had here, and I think the team's pleased so far, and we're going to keep moving forward with that.
Okay, thanks, Randy. Any questions for Randy? Okay, and let me go to Phil Yates at the Martin plant. Phil, if you're out there, any input today for the engagement playbook? Pound 5 to unmute. While Phil's doing that, Charles Harry, he's another one I'd like to call on today at Turkey Point. Is there any input you can give us or any feedback on how this process is affecting your plan at Turkey Point?
Hey.
Yeah.
Hey, this is Phil at
Hey,
Martin.
Phil. How you doing, Phil?
Yeah, to follow up with Randy's communications part, Martin plant, Brad put together an employee engagement team the past few months, and from that team, it's a mix of shift team, special crew, base team, and some non-bargaining unit individuals on it. And came out of it, the biggest thing, again, was communications. From that, the coaches here decided to put together a weekly newsletter to bring up the week's activities and, looking forward. Richard and Brian McCall, Richard Worthy here, he helps administer or put it together. And we put it out every Monday. Richard, you want to allude to it?
Yeah, real quickly, what we do is we try to highlight some of the things that happen on a weekly basis, i.e., if someone's doing some training, if we have tasks or jobs being completed during that week, and we kind of try to give a little background information on any work being done at the plant. For example, our recent highlight was some of the pre-outage .04 work. And we kind of explain what the .04 means. And our employees here, they have really, really enjoyed it because it gets them familiar with some of the projects that they may not work on. If for example, we have conventional, and then we also have combined cycles. So those guys working on the conventional side get an opportunity to read some of the .04 work that they may not be able to operate, but it will familiarize them with it. And it's been well received, and it's a weekly update. Birthdays, tragedies, trips at the plant, all those things get reported weekly for the entire team here, and it's been doing very, very well. Thank you.
Hey, thanks for that input. And I know a number of locations out there have like a scrolling marquee at their plant where they put some information on, and it serves to update people and communicate some critical information as well. I know a number of people are doing that. Seems to be pretty effective where that's employed as well. Yeah, thanks for that input. I did call on Charles Harry. Charles, do you have anything else to add?
Hey, good afternoon, Pete.
Hey, thanks, Charles.
Hey, Pete, this morning we held a PLs meeting, and we had a little piece to discuss the new updates on the iTouch, and we had a lot of engaging discussions on the IW updates, specifically the ability to find existing work tickets and place equipment on a monitor list. The PLs were really encouraged to see that, and you know, they had a lot of good things to say, and I think we really need to show appreciation to the Tech and Fusion department. So, really encouraging here.
Yeah, it's been great. Did any opportunities for improvement come out of that discussion as well?
It hasn't been implemented yet, so once we get our hands in it, I'm sure there's going to be opportunity for improvement.
It has been impressive, the tools that have come out. I agree. So, great, thank you for that, Charles. Anybody else out there care to make a comment or a challenge for the team here today?
You got on the bottom of the presentation feedback on changes for future playbooks, and as we've had a lot of rollouts in the last couple of years on a month-to-month basis, and I think it would be neat to take a small section or corner of that poster and maybe put up a picture of some of the sites either embracing technology or some winners of the Power Awards from the prior quarter, just to put a face to some of the activities that are going on in the background. A lot of words, a lot of good words, but I think the people behind the words are pretty important. And I think
it's a great comment.
Drive some of that.
Yeah, great comment. Thank you, Juan. Appreciate that. Anybody else? Okay. Tony, let me turn it over to you for comments.
I'm going to turn it over to Steve. I'm going to take the opportunity to really recognize a team member here that have been with us now, what, 38 years or so?
36.
36.
Working on 37. So
thank you.
I won't quite make it.
And Steve, your last day is Friday? Or?
Friday is my last day. Yes.
Wow. I know that one thing that Steve had demonstrated over the years is an incredible flexibility, which we ask a lot of our teammates. You have been around, I guess, from Sanford. These are the things I didn't look or prepare or look at the history, but my memory might fail me here, but it's Sanford, Fort Myers, Cherokee, and ERCOT. Forney, ERCOT.
Yes, sir.
Did I miss anything there? Of course, assurance, production assurance here.
Right. A little short time at Martin, but it was only 6 months. I hardly remember it, so you should.
So we would like to take the opportunity here to really thank you for your contribution over the years, Steve, and wish you the best. I know that you and your wife are going to have a great new journey. You know, yes. I don't like to use the word retirement. That's not more vocabulary. So a new journey, and I'm sure you're looking forward to that. And we want to thank you for all your contribution here.
Thank you, Tony. Appreciate it.
I guess this is great, Jonathan. Thank you for your inspiring remarks in a new book that I think is look, even when just looking at it, there is quite a bit to learn from it, right? Picking up on the inquiry part of it, the first eye there, leading with a positively powerful question. When I saw that, I said, well, maybe I should be thinking of one to close the meeting with. And it really, it really comes back to what is the next thing that we as leaders here in the organization can take on as leaders, personally, to move to that new and higher level of leadership effectiveness. We should be asking ourselves, always asking that question of ourselves, and then collectively, then as the organization, working together and the collaboration, how we supporting each other in the organization through collaboration, feedback, and all of that help us even grow beyond what we can do individually. Because I think there's two dimensions here. It's what we can do individually, but what we can do by supporting each other and helping each other, and bringing this organization to a higher level. So I think I'll conclude with that.
Thank you, Tony. It's all about being a team, and we all want to be a better team and work toward that. So again, thank you, Tony. Thank you, everybody, all the presenters today, and the people that gave us feedback. Appreciate that. And we'll see you next month for the November version of the playbook. Thanks again. Second Tuesday of the month at 2:30. So, goodbye, everybody.